Welcome to this all-new edition of Eyes on the Tigers, Channel 97 News.
We come to you from the OHS Commons, and here's a look at what you will see on today's show.
We look back at the time the German exchange students spent at OHS.
We learn more about one Oakville student's battle on and off the field.
We see the new way OHS seniors learned about distracted driving.
And some Oakville students try out an excellent game.
We'll have all that and much more on today's edition of Eyes on the Tigers, Channel 97 News.
And it all starts now.
Welcome back to Eyes on the Tigers, Channel 97 News. I'm Veronica Moheski.
And I'm Molly Kohler. Last year, our school district was experiencing a financial crisis and many cuts were made. With the passage of Prop R, positive change is on the way. Here's the story.
Last year, the Melville School District was over $4 million in debt. With the passing of Prop R and the support from the community, that debt has been reversed.
Is that all grade levels will have a laptop. We are also exploring the idea of tablets now as well. Each high school received a couple of tablets earlier this year for our digital core leaders to kind of test out and give us their opinion on.
Many students are wondering what changes are coming to clubs and sports next year.
The clubs that were cut, we have the ability, if they were paid in the past and that club still has a sponsor, the money that was taken away will be given back. And so now we have the availability to get those back if there are people who are still willing to do it. So that's kind of neat.
At this point, there are no changes to the athletic fee. That was something that was never discussed with Prop R, and if that passed, so as of right now, per central office, that $100 fee will still be effective next year as well. As far as facilities are concerned, the dollars that were passed in Prop R were not designed for facilities. Obviously for us, our big concern is our turf being replaced and our Gym A floor being replaced, because they are both due. They are both slated to be done in the next 3 years.
This past Tuesday, our community voted to pass Prop A, but not many people know what Prop A will do.
What they're asking is there's 4 cents being paid to debt service fund right now for the district, and they're looking to shift that because that's set to expire, and it'll shift over to the capital projects fund. And so instead of paying down debt, which we will have paid off, it'll move over to capital projects, which will pay for HVAC and roofings for the entire district. So
There's going to be some changes that we're looking at that was not because of Prop R, but was put off because of Prop R.
We look forward to these exciting new changes in the following years to come. With Joel Hahn behind the camera, I'm Max Rodenbeck from Channel 97 News.
Molly, do you remember the Save a Life assembly we had a few weeks ago?
Of course, I got to try distracted driving simulation. It was interesting.
Well, here's a story on how that presentation affected other OHS students.
On March 9th, the Save a Life Tour came to Oakville.
The Save a Life Tour is a high alcohol awareness program that describes texting and driving, any kind of distracted driving.
Simulations, we had 2 of them. One was the alcohol simulator. The other one, very realistic, texting and driving.
There were many different opinions about the Save a Life campaign.
The only real negatives I got was one is that they didn't believe that the delay time that was built in to the alcohol simulator was real. The other part was with the texting. They wanted to use their own phones. But other than that, it was really positive, especially the message right there at the beginning. That video, that was intense.
It did not have an effect on me personally, and I don't think it had an effect on many other students as well. I thought it was just a waste of A&P. I feel like I could have gotten other things done during that, and it just took up the whole A&P, and I think there could have been other things done to bring an effect on the cause more than that did.
This event replaced the Mont car crash for this year, but students will be happy to hear that the Mont car crash will be back next year. With photographers Jackie Dreppert and Annika Bernston, I'm Brady Castillo for Channel 97 News. Drive safely, Oakville.
Veronica, didn't you have a German exchange student staying with you a few weeks ago?
Yeah, I did. It was fun. I'm sad the exchange students had to go back, though.
I'm sure it was a really cool experience. Let's take a look back on their time here at OHS.
A couple weeks ago, you may have noticed a few extra faces around Oakville. OHS hosted a total of 18 German exchange students through the German-American Partnership Program.
In Germany it's pretty different. We have less students and our grade is from 5th to 12th. So we have no middle school, no high school, no college. It's all together.
We are allowed to leave class without a hall pass, just like leaving class whenever we want.
We don't have blocks in school, or the lockers are different. We don't have lockers.
We don't dress in sweatpants. It's like, it's an unwritten rule that you don't come in sweatpants to school.
My favorite thing was going to a basketball game and the St. Louis City Museum.
Yeah, I love the City Museum. I tried Pop-Tarts and, yeah, like American food, hamburger, Taco Bell, yeah.
The pancakes, they're very salty compared to ours. Like, I have the feeling you put so much salt in there.
What you may not know is one pair of students has a different relationship than the rest.
Well, over the summer, I took a trip to Germany, and the last 2 weeks we were there, I stayed with Benny here, and yeah, went to school with him, basically the same thing that we did here. Since I stayed with him, it was kind of just like a thing for him to stay with me, you know?
We went to Ted Drew's, got some frozen custard. We went to the zoo on Sunday. We also went to the Rosen Bowl, so it was a lot of fun these 2 weeks.
I just got a Snapchat, so we'll probably, keep in touch that way. And maybe, in the future, if he ever wants to come to America again, or I want to go to Germany, the houses are always an option.
With Arnella Pekic and Katie Januska behind the camera, I'm Allie Landman for Channel 97 News.
Molly, I know you know what to do over spring break.
You're right, I do. I actually took a trip down to Florida for my spring break.
That's fun. Well, I know one OHS student who went on an interesting trip before spring break. Here's the story.
A week before spring break, Oakville senior Dallas Carter took a trip to Haiti. What she did was not like any other mission trip.
What we did was microfinance loans, which it's like handouts versus hand-ups. So Haiti has so many handouts that they're to the point where they don't need any more just free things. They need a way to get things for themselves.
And we stayed with local people in their houses, and they provided us with meals and a place to stay, and it was a little different that way.
Dallas had many unique experiences on her trip.
We hiked. That was the main thing we were doing. It was mostly uphill, mostly up a mountain. It's not something I've ever done before, but it was something that I was really glad that I did.
Dallas was amazing. This girl had so much strength, and I was so surprised by her ability to just keep on going. She was always in the front of the pack.
So how did Dallas get to go on this trip?
Some were a little over $1,800 for each participant to go, and Dallas raised 100% of that money herself.
I did Mazing Masons, so I did mason jars, and I decorated them Christmas themed or as candle holders and stuff like that, and I sold them at a craft fair and at church. I also set up a GoFundMe account.
A few people in Dallas's life shared how they felt about Dallas and her journey.
I could not be more proud of Dallas Carter because she put in just months and months of hard work to be able to go. And I truly believe that it made that trip for her so much richer, and that's why she's so excited about it.
She was always a constant source of encouragement and just a great positive attitude on the trip.
I felt completely at home. I was in love with the culture there. I mean, it's such a rich, vibrant culture. And the mountains and the landscape and everything is beautiful. I could probably live there someday, but when I came home is when I got the culture shock. Because you're in this environment for a week and you don't really realize it while you're there, but it's changing the way you see things.
Congratulations to Dallas for working so hard to go on this amazing trip. We wish her good luck on continuing to make an impact on the world. With Cassidy McNeil and Imani Kellum, I'm Taylor Zaff for Channel 97 News.
This time of year, many students are thinking about college plans. Here's a story about one OHS alum who followed through on hers. Molly has the story.
My sister Katie Kohler was a well-known student when she attended Oakville High School. This 2014 graduate balanced theater and speech and debate and excelled in both. Although many people thought she would pursue a career in theater, she chose a different path.
I decided to go to the Air Force Academy because I always knew I wanted to do something internationally. When I went to Girls Nation in Washington, D.C., My roommate was dead set on going to West Point, and she told me all about the academies, and that's just when I knew it was for me.
Katie had it all planned out, but little did she know there would be challenges she would soon face.
The week before basic cadet training, the summer after I graduated high school, I tore my meniscus playing volleyball while we were camping. When I found out that I had torn my meniscus and then realized that it was medically disqualifying, I was shocked.
It was the middle of June, so she couldn't get in anywhere to a university at that point.
But she did come up with Plan B like within a week.
She received a scholarship to go to Greystone, which is part of the Schreiner University in Texas. That was a good stepping stone and an opportunity to better prepare herself for the difficult lifestyle of academy living.
It allowed her to rehabilitate her knee while learning about the military and getting prep for the academy.
I know she's always had a lot of drive and determination ever since she was a little girl, so I knew she'd find a way to keep on pushing to ultimately enter the academy.
I'm standing here at the United States Air Force Academy, where my sister now attends school.
I'd say looking at Cadet Kohler, I think she's been doing a fantastic job. As with anyone who comes into this institution, being a military institute, I have the highest respect of it.
Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something. If you want something bad enough and you're willing to put in the work, there's really nothing that you can't do. And believe me, if you don't get exactly what you thought you wanted in the first place, you're going to end up with something even better that you didn't even know existed. So work hard now and do everything that you can, because what you want is out there waiting for you.
Brianna Colombo recently won her fight against cancer, and now she is fighting to continue doing something she loves. Michaela Heilich and Bailey Volstecki have the story.
It all started like whenever I was actually playing soccer, and I got hit, like I guess in the stomach, and I think it like moved my tumor a little bit, because that's when I noticed that there was something there. I told my mom that like there was something in my stomach. I had no idea what it was, and she took me to the doctor, and I got an ultrasound, and they were like seeing some problems with the ultrasound, so they like ordered a CT scan. And then after I got my CT scan back was when they found out that it was some form of cancer. That like night I was admitted into the hospital. Next morning I woke up and I went into surgery. After I had surgery and they found out that it was ovarian cancer, they put me on a treatment plan of 3 days a week, every 3 weeks. So I went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and got 3 different kinds of chemo. While you get it, you can't really do anything. So I always asked my doctor if I could play soccer, and like she always said that I could. Like she just didn't know that if I would feel up for it.
On January 12th, Bree rang the cancer-free bell. She was then ready to return to the field.
As soon as I was released, all I had to do was like figure out a way to protect my port that they put in so I didn't hit it, and I could play.
She needed a pad made for a one of the pieces of medical equipment that she has as part of her body now, basically. And so, working with Jen Jones, who's one of our occupational therapists at our Arnold Clinic, we were able to make a custom molded pad for that area in a hard shell for it that helps protect that while she's out there playing as hard as she can.
After everything that she had been through, she went out on the field and was playing like she left. She's certainly an inspiration for anybody who has the eyes to see and to perceive what it is she's able to do.
Just to see her out here again, just like, it makes me so happy, and I can't wait to see what she goes farther in and just see her play this year.
Congrats to Bree for playing 6 games already this year, and good luck to her for the rest of the season. With Bailey Volstecki, I'm Michaela Heilich for Channel 97 News.
Good luck to Brianna on the rest of her season. Now here's a story about another OHS athlete who is dealing with adversity in a positive way.
For the past 2 years, Zach Kryler has been a top player on the varsity volleyball team, but on the last day of the season, his junior year, he suffered an injury.
Well, Zach hurt himself initially on districts at Lafayette last year, literally the last day of the season, and that was really devastating to everybody because we had to scramble to fill his spot.
But I eventually got an MRI, found out I tore my ACL completely and part of my lateral and medial meniscus.
He hoped to play again his senior year, but he was affected by another injury in February.
We were at the pavilion Tuesday, some teammates and I. It wasn't even 30 minutes in, I landed from jumping, and my knee kind of buckled, kind of limped off the court, sat down a while. Eventually went and got an MRI, found out I retore my ACL and my lateral meniscus.
And it was for sure that he wasn't going to play his senior year. That was really devastating.
Despite his injuries, Zach is still a key part of the team.
He's basically a manager, but he's also a coach. Zach is really intelligent when it comes to volleyball, so if he sees holes in the block or spot servers or anything like that, anything that can help out the team, he lets us know.
He is working as another set of eyes to help out his teammates. So he's helping people with their approaches and their timing and just giving positive feedback. He will be doing stats as soon as we start games and, helping with that aspect. He does have a jersey and he's on our roster even though he's not allowed to play it currently. And he will be participating in all the team's activities this year.
So I'm still showing up to games, supporting them, and being a presence on the court that way. I guess my attitude towards it is you don't always get to pick your situation. All you get to pick is your attitude, how you're going to approach the situation.
Good luck to the boys volleyball team on the rest of their season. With Tara Vogler and Veronica Moheski, I'm Madison Ponzaroli for Channel 97 News. I'm ecstatic to show you our next story. It involves an exceptional game. Are you ignoring me? I can tell by your expression that you do not like this intro.
Oh, Molly, you crack me up. Now let's just get to the story.
We took a student from each grade and put them up to the challenge of egg roulette. We gave them a carton of 6 raw eggs and 6 hard-boiled eggs. Each student had to pick which one to crack on their head.
Well, I don't really need a strategy because I'm good at everything.
I'm feeling good. It doesn't look like they've ever done egg roulette before.
Strategy is just, go with the flow.
Way to smash it on other people's heads.
Well, that's not how it works.
That's not how, okay.
Hard boiled. Okay, you're done. Okay. Woohoo!
They're all gonna be gone.
What? Okay, well, this is raw. I know. Go get him, Tiger.
Oh.
Yep.
It's not even on his head.
Do it again.
Yep.
Oh.
This one's good. I hope. Yep.
Oh, you're good. I'm a genius. Come on.
Oh.
Our freshman and sophomore contestants were eliminated because they had the most raw eggs. The junior and senior contestants advanced.
Surprised at all in the finals. A little worried, so I'm not surprised at all.
I'm pretty good. I knew I would do well because, it's a full-time winner. I'm so good.
Congrats to Sarah Johnson on being the egg roulette champion.
Well, I felt better before the finals. Not feeling great right now.
I'm an agricultural genius. That is my strategy. It's just being awesome and knowing everything.
With Shannon Strobel and Katie Freshman, I'm Allison Priscilla for Channel 97 News. Stay sunny side up, Oakville.
Well, that wraps up this edition of Eyes on the Tigers, Channel 97 News.
Join us for our next show on April 25th. I'm Veronica Moheski.
And I'm Molly Kohler. And remember, Oakville,
Keep your eyes on the Tigers.